Thank you for joining us this morning. It's been a great show for us so far to date. We're very pleased with the customer engagement and the number of contacts we've had. It's been a very good show for us so far. So I'm going to introduce our CEO, Peter Loetzner of EMAG LLC. He'll be presenting on our new technologies, our machine solutions, and what we have to offer here at the show in 2018.
Thank you very much. Can you guys hear me in the back? Good now? All right. Thank you for joining us this morning at our press conference. I prepared a presentation that runs you a little through who EMAG is, what's our business, and what is special about our machines and what we show this year. We have a couple new machines that have not been in the market yet that I would like you to look at. After my presentation, the whole EMAG team is available to answer questions. You can ask me a couple questions in between, but we have technology specialists right standing behind you. You can ask pretty much everything except how the Detroit Lions were doing last night. I think we are not talking about that today. All right, so I get started. Manufacturing system for precision metal components. That's our motto for many years. And the system idea is coming together more and more, and this year we show more machines that are related to systems and solutions and not being only single machines as EMAG was viewed for many years. Our global footprint, of course, is important to understand. We have a stronghold in Europe. That's where EMAG was founded many years ago. We have been grown very successfully in China, and of course, for you guys that know us here for many years, America has been a good market for us, and we have been growing successful year over year. Headquarter is in Germany, as you know, Saarlach near Stuttgart. That's where the majority of the technologies are being developed, tested, and the machines are being designed, and then the machines are being manufactured in a couple different locations and then sent to the individual markets. For you that don't know our size, I put a couple data points together for you. Turnover last year was about $700 million US, so we are a very large company, and in the turning world, the largest machine tool manufacturer. Export 69%, that says the majority of our machines are exported outside of Europe. Workforce greater than 3,000, that also gives you an idea how big we are. Our apprentice program, a very important stepping stone for us to be able to build this kind of machineries, about 160 worldwide. And Tim knows this from our past. We started this program here in the United States 6 years ago, and we have since graduated about 12 apprentices, and now we actually have the program increased, and now we have every year 4 students that get a full ride of one of the big schools in Michigan, and at the end they are being trained technicians with a certificate that helps us to support our technology. Here our technologies, if you, let me go back a little, you see we have 6 technologies, 6 technology companies, but we reflect 9 different manufacturing technologies. Most of this, as you know, is turning, but we also provide machines for hard milling, for grinding, for gear hobbing, and skiving. Actually, the skiving is something new that we are just in the process of launching, very successful product line that we have increased, and complementary to the hobbing machines that we display here with the Köpfer brand. Heat shrink assembly, ECM, laser welding, and of course induction hardening is another technology that we represent here today. The manufacturing systems, of course, you guys know those are mostly around round parts. So here's a little spectrum about the parts that we typically machine, but we also want to draw the attention on shaft parts. There's many parts that we do for shaft machining. We actually have a display today for the roll feed turning, very interesting part that we are displaying here. So that shows you that we round it up not only with the traditional chucker, but also on the shaft machining. But we not only do round parts, we also do prismic components. And these are components that typically don't display or don't lend itself to be a turning application, but they are used, we do the machining on turning machines. Is it better now? Yeah? Now it's 1, 2, 3. Better? Much louder, yeah, okay. So we not only turn round parts, we also turn prismic parts, and you see a couple examples here, what can be machined on EMAG systems. A little about the size, I was telling you earlier, we are the largest turning machine manufacturer, and in Europe we are actually the 3rd largest machine tool manufacturer. As you see here, these are slides actually going back to 15, but the ranking has not changed since. You see that we are pretty large compared to many other brands. I think it's key to understand how much horsepower actually EMAG has and how we are presented in the market. And the market size, of course, is reflected in many customers. As I put this list in, just that you see the who is who in the business is our customer. And we have been enjoying the business with these brands all over the globe, not only in Europe, not only in the United States, also in China. And people always ask me, what is the advantage? Why should we work with EMAG? What are you doing different? And the difference for us is really that we mastered a lean process that allows us actually to serve the different market. You work with one company, but the company can, like we did traditionally, provide customized components like you see on the right. It's a process where you build a machine, you integrate a technology and special technology companies. The market unit is involved in supporting this process, and at the end you ship the machine to typically an OEM customer. That's how we started many years ago, and then we developed a light customized product. So these were machines that were shipped directly to the market, and the market companies can put technology on it, serve the customer with the technical support, and the customer can use those machines accordingly. Of course, there's a saving if you don't really have a complete customized machine. This is your solution. And when we were going back and see how can we grow our business even further, we decided we need to look at some standard machines that can be shipped directly to the customer. And that's really our strength today. On the left-hand side of the slide, modular standard is a product that can either ship to the customer through a market company with technology, or we can actually, we call it drop ship, directly from the plant to the end customer. And that's really the big difference to many machine tool customers that are in the customizing world, that we mastered those lean processes that we can really support all 3 of these models. So this is a little animated slide for you. I just want to share with you on the right-hand side the advantages as I described them earlier. Oops, sorry. So you have your custom machine tool. EMAG provides you the fixturing. We provide you the automation. We put the complete technology on it. It becomes a turnkey manufacturing system, and that really differentiates us from other companies that are out there. The next few slides, I want to show you a little more what it means to manufacture or to build machines that are called manufacturing systems. So all the slides that you're seeing here are pretty much a combination of individual technologies that EMAG builds, but the end was put together for the customer to give him a final turnkey product. In this case, you have a steering pinion where we have shaft machining on the left with the VTC 100. We have hopping integrated. It's still the green process. Then there's an induction hardening system. It's in the line, hardens the part, and then we do the hard machining, the grinding. So that's an integrated process that you would otherwise not be able to purchase from other suppliers, or you would have to put robots in it. We are able to give you a complete integrated system for a finished part. A similar example here is I call it flange shaft, and I have a little video for this. This was a very huge line for us. This is only a segment. I have to ask Kirk, I don't remember how many machines at the end. The CV showing, let's pick a number, 50 machines total. And I have a little video actually running. One second, here we go. Not sure if the sound is playing, but this is a fixed sheave from a CV joint. There we go. So what you see is a 3D animation of one cell of this line, and it's put together shaft machining, green turn, hard turn, grinding. There's the washer integrated, and also final gauges. It's 10 different operations. I counted them just in case you want to count. So you have the laser marking, you have the turning, shaft turning, we press in bushings, grind, wash, inspect. So very impressive order, and these were multiple of these cells, and that shows you what it means to provide manufacturing systems. So when I opened earlier, this is one of the displays for you to understand that we are not only a machine tool builder, we really are a system provider that we control. So we build a system for the end customer. There you go. Another similar system here is a ring gear. Ring gear machining is again, it used to be a cell operation where individual processes put together. Here again, we provide a complete system, 3 identical machines, in this case so-called VL6. For those of you that don't understand the nomenclature, it's our size. So here behind you is, for example, a VL1, we have a VL3, VL4, and so the sizes are defined by these numbers. And it helps us also help the customer to understand what size he is purchasing. Another manufacturing system, very interesting to share with you, VL4 with integrated gauge. A lot of customers invest their money in post-process gauges in order to control quality. We have the ability to build a gauge in the machine in order to immediately control your result. And this gauge was actually a multi-dimensional gauge. It has been integrated. It's one of a kind in the world. We have built many of these, and this is something that you technically can only do with a vertical pickup machine that we have been providing. Another system for you to share, I won't bore you much longer with systems. Another system for you to share is differential. The differential machining has been a growing market for us the last few years, and we have been very successful to provide many lines to many of the differential systems manufacturer. I have a video embedded that's not from a differential, but it shows you a process of a similar part, and also gives you again an idea how a multi-machine system can be provided by EMAG. So in this case, you see a production line for a pulley type components like the differential would be. Similar setup than earlier. You have the cream process, you have a grinding process, a real good finishing process in it, multiple machines being set up and automated. And again, a very good display what manufacturing system means in our market. Here we go. So you see the animation with the hard turn grind machines, the washer here on the left coming up, load and unload on one side, and this was put together for a customer here in the United States. Again, multiple cells, and we were awarded with the business because we actually were the only ones that can put the complete system together like this. Transmission clutch, something that not many people see as a product. I brought it up because it's a nice display. I get to this part later because it's one of the systems where we combine turning with laser welding. It's another system that has been successful, placed in the market. Is the combination of making chips and assemble the part in one process. The industry for many years had it actually segregated to a point that assembly happened in different plants. So they make parts in one plant and assemble it, package, ship it to another plant. Now many have changed that process, and they bring the assembly closer to the manufacturing to save logistics costs. And this is one of the examples where at the end EMAG was able to bring it really together in one cell, where the raw part comes in, and we have assembled finished part coming out. Very, very new, and but we are very proud of it. I'll show you a little more about this later. Another example I have here, and this is a machine we have out on this main floor, the VLC 200 GT, hard turn grind. Also something that is new for the show. I'll show you a little more about this later, but also a process that has been put together very successful, where you have the turning and the grinding. As old school, we said combination machining used to be very new years ago, has become more and more standard, and we have developed a market-leading solution here for this kind of operations. Shaft machining, when you walk around our booth, you see at the very end here a VT44, typical example for turning of shaft parts. And in this case, this is a production line for camshafts. You see a large amount of machines here. It's really an integrated system where the customer gave us turnkey responsibility. So we not only, in this case, provide EMAG product, we also provide other systems from other machine tool suppliers. So we purchase milling machines, we purchase washers, we put it all together at EMAG's floor. We integrated the system, ran it off completely, and shipped it. So complete turnkey responsibilities are in EMAG's hands. So this slide is put in for you to understand how I bridge to the next process. I show here many parts that you probably know from transmissions or power unit. What all these parts have in common is there's not one process that finishes them. You have green turning on these parts, you have hard turning, you have drilling, milling, you have laser welding on these parts, and that makes us unique that these examples can all machined on an EMAG system in one setup. So this is one example I like to share with you. This is a cell that we machine and laser weld. Earlier I showed you a lot of grinding, washing and turning. This example bridges over to the assembly process I was describing earlier for an output shaft. You see on the right the picture, you have your shaft, and this has an integrated planetary carrier good example how we put it together. You have operation 90 on the bottom for turning. You press and weld, you laser clean, and you finish machine the part and you unload. Another example for an integrated system is our example for driven gears, something I'm going to show later, as a complete system as well. You see again the integrated washing solution, laser welding, ultrasonic and test, and a very successful setup that helped us and helped the customers to really cut costs in regards of manufacturing processes. So here's this clutch housing again I was showing you earlier, and this shows the integrated solution where we have the clutch housing and then we manufacture the sun gear. Both together is being mated in our line, and then it's going to be welded, tested, and then being completed. So again, this was only possible when the customers understood they can save cost in combining processes, and we have been able, because of our ability to provide the systems, to give the end customer this integrated cells. So now I want to talk a little about what is new at IMTS 2018. Couple machines that we have here at the show are listed here on the right, and I recommend take a moment after I am done, walk around, look at the machines, talk to the people. These are all specialists. They're here for you, and they will answer a lot of questions if you ask them. So the first product we have here at the show is Real One Twin, and that is a system that has been a new development. It's a new product launch actually, and I'm going to share a couple slides with you and a video about this. Also, I want to draw your attention, because I'm not boring you with every little machine that's here. I want to draw your attention to the VL3 Duo that's over here on my right. Is a dual spindle system that you should go and look and understand what the features are. The new hopping machine, HLC 150, behind us here. I'm going to talk a little more about this now. The grinding machine I introduced earlier. And also at the end of my presentation I have a few slides about Industry 4.0. I was asked yesterday, so what is how do we continue growing? You know, we can of course ship more machines into the market, but what is new? New for EMAG and new for the market is that we are really ahead or a trendsetter in regards of Industry 4.0. The machines that we have here today are all already Industry 4.0 enabled. We have a couple apps that we can use. Actually, if you go in the Apple Store, there's only one turning machine tool manufacturer that provides an app, and that's us. EMAG has a service app and the Industry 4.0 app in the Apple Store. It's free to use. You can get a lot out of this app already. And again, while you're here, take advantage, talk to the salespeople. They all should have a little iPad in the hands, and they can show you how it works, and I think there's also a live demonstration possible. So I show this part as a little reminder. When you walk around the booth at the corners, we have transmission systems, and in the past we have looked in transmissions as our key product. There are many rotating parts in it. That means you need many machines. That's not only what we focus on today. However, there are a couple nice applications, and I want to see if I can get this started here for you. The VL200FA is a machine that has been designed around transmission components, and in particular the planetary carrier. There are many different processes out there in the market to machine planet carrier. The trick is there's a turning operation, there is a hole drilling operation, but the precision is extreme high. The planetary pinion holes have to be in a super tight position, but because when you put the gear in and you put the sun gear in, there's no adjustment possible. So it's got to be right on. And we have evolved through years really in being the market leader for this product. And what is the beauty on this is when you watch the video and you walk outside and you look at that grinding machine out there, you will say, this machine looks really similar, and that's really the trick. We have a machine out here, because of its design, it can be used for grinding. Yeah, that's the idea. Grinding means precision parts, and this precision that comes of that machine is really now adapted to this process and allows us to build the most precise planetary carriers in the market. And we are very proud of this design. It's new. We don't show the machine here, but I'm happy we got the video to show you the complexity. But the idea is to understand that we took a grinding machine and went back to make it a turn and drill operation. Yeah, so that is key. That is that makes it so unique. So see the clamping, you see the gauging. And here's the machine. So the VL1 Twin is a launch product that we have this year on the show. It's right behind you. What's unique, it's the size. It's the smallest machine in the EMAG family now, goes up to 75 millimeter. And I show you a little video about the functionality, and I urge you take your time and look at the machine after my presentation. So it has a stacker system that loads automatically 2 parts at the time into our loading shuttle. See here, this is a raw and finished pallet that you can see. In reality, it runs much faster, of course. So you have the pallet raw finished. So it just picked up the finished part. It shuttles 2 parts at the same time into the machine. It's being picked up through a vertical pickup machine, brought to the tool, and of course the machine can be set up to ID or OD machining, but it's always the same setup. So it's a twin, it makes the same part on both spindles at the same time. Gauging. And you know, it's the little things that make people happy. If you look at that gripper, while the gripper unloads, we use the same motion to load. Yeah? So there's no movement, there's no time lost. It's a brilliant idea to save cycle time and also save cost. So this machine is right behind you, and I have a little data for you that I want to share. Has a linear drive for the x-axis, a linear motor. For those of you that don't know, we don't need a ball screw for that. So we have slide rails and a linear motor for high dynamic movement. We have our strong main spindle with almost 10 kilowatts. And down here on the bottom, you see the size dimension. That's now metric, but it's 3 inches by 3 inches of parts that can be machined. We have our traditional mineral concrete base integrated. 2 spindle, of course, I explained that earlier. The twin concept allows you to make 2 parts at the same time. And of course, through the linear drives, it is super fast. This data sheet is available for you to be shared. I think it's also on the handout of the press kit. Again, it's a 3-inch chucker. The chuck itself can be up to a 6-inch. That's the clearance that we have. And the speed and performance data is available. What I may want to point out is the options on the turret. You can use it as a VDI 30 or a BMT 45. Typical part spectrum here, your usual round part, sanitary gears, of course, the sleeve, or we had a customer looking in it to make your brake cylinders for your brake caliper in your car, perfect part. And of course, in today's world, many of the camshafts are being assembled, and this is one target part that they have. The unique selling points for you to share: small footprint, you can look over, it's really small, 50 square foot, and heavy-duty main spindle. I don't read it all down, you can read yourself, but you understand the basic idea is that you have a twin spindle on the smaller spectrum, which is new for EMAG, and has the 2 pickup stations integrated. So, what else is new? We also introduced this year a hopping machine on our brand. Many of you know the Köpfer brand. Köpfer has been a partner or being in the group for many years, and this time we developed together a machine that's EMAG branded in regards of functionality and designed to serve the market in the industry, OEM as well as Tier 1, Tier 2. And that's really new for us, and I want to show you a few pictures about it and give you a little more data. We also have the team here, right behind us. If you have questions about this very interesting machine, it's right over here, and I really recommend, again, to walk over and look at it. It's a very unique system, and I take a moment to explain it a little better. The idea, the name HLC 150 is horizontal loaded customized. We always talk vertical in our world, but this is the exception to the rule. This is a process that lends itself more to a horizontal system. And if you look at the Köpfer family of machines, you know, we have the traditional 160, 200, 300. We have the vertical machine that we showed, I think, a couple years ago at the show. And now new to the family is the HLC 150, and the uniqueness here is when we went back and developed the machine, we put a couple objectives together, and what you have really here is the high performance with a state-of-the-art design. There's really nothing that has not been looked at twice to optimize for top performance. And it is a dual purpose hopping machine, so you can do as well the transmission shaft and also like a steering worm. I have a couple pictures so you understand what I'm talking about. It is, when you compare it to the market, the best performing machine that is available right now, and it replaces some of our sizes. So it is a hybrid solution, and from a spectrum it fits between the 160 and 200, which is a real good seller for us. But you know, we brought this new product together because now we really have a bracket around 2 products that otherwise would require you to buy 2 different machines. I talked a lot about automation, and this machine is designed to be fully integrated in an EMAG automation. I think it's very careful to understand, and we see this over at the line when you stop by. Like I said earlier, it can be customized for OEM customers, and it's a very attractive pricing scheme that we have here. So it has been doing well for us. New to the United States now, and we hope we sell many, I can say. Correct, Mr. Organ? Yeah. So I talked a little about the size. As you can see here, we have still the K300 in our product line. That's a workhorse that we are not going to replace soon, but the HLC is really targeted to combine and address the customers that are on that 150 and that 200 spectrum. I put a technology cluster together because gear hopping is something that's complex, so for people to understand, you really gotta look at what we offer here. So this machine has the ability to provide your traditional hopping. It provides your worm milling, roll chamfering, skiving, conichrome hopping, as well as chamfer cutting. So it's really a unique machine out there, and this cluster is something, if you don't take away a lot from this morning, this is important to understand what the spectrum of this machine has. So this is key to understand. There's nobody out there that has this complexity addressed in one single machine. Data, I won't bore you too much about the data here with the machine, but you see we have this put together. It should be in your press kit for review. Typical strategic parts, as you can see, the transmission shafts. That's why I had this picture earlier about the transmission. But also EPS worm gears that are in steering system these days, steering pinion, and the steering worm. Again, the steering worm is a milling process, and that can be produced on this machine. A couple layouts for you. But I highly recommend to look at the machine after my presentation. There's more life to it than just looking at your screen. Again, a little the data here. Huge workspace spectrum, best in class, cross-slide unit with a y-axis, worm milling, integrated chamfering, standalone or integrated, and super reliable fender control. It's really unique for the industry. So. Last but not least, I talked earlier about Industry 4.0. I recommend, I'm done really shortly, take a time with one of the salespeople, have them show you the application. We have it live running, and they can present to you the functionality. I want to point out that EMAG is really a trendsetter. We have integrated machines. I don't know, I haven't walked around a lot, how many companies have their machines already, Industry 4.0 ready at the show. We are one of them. I don't know if there are many more. But to understand it, Industry 4.0 has 4 different fields. It's a monitoring approach where you have multiple icons you can play with. I get to some later. So it's a monitoring if you want to count. It's the analytics. Important to know the health of your system, the situation of your tool. Service and maintenance is important, and the operation planning. So production scheduling can be done in Industry 4.0 as well. And what we have so far accomplished is we have a live multi-machine monitoring system that allows pretty much the plant manager or the operation manager to see how his machines perform on a production level. So he gets output data, he gets downtime. He doesn't know why he has downtime. We have a different module for this I want to share with you. So the multi-machine monitor is something that is live on our machines, and we have the machine status. The machine status gives you more health systems, okay? It tells you how is the machine performing, what are your problems, you know, where's my spindle temperature, where's my vibration level. It's only a monitoring system. I show you another icon where you can even dig deeper. We provide tool status information via Industry 4.0. It's more the protective system. So you get early warnings when your tool is about to expire, and that's a system that is integrated live on our machines. And then we have our service app and service solution, in this case Remote Expert. That's a live system where the operator can scan a barcode on the machine, and he can connect to a service tech 24/7 in the EMAG world, and he gets support. It can be purchased, that's part of the app, but this service of course not free, but it allows him now that when he has a problem, he scans, he takes his phone, he gets a live person, and he can actually, like, you know, FaceTime or WhatsApp. We can look together into the machine and figure out what's going on and provide service. I think that is very unique, and there are not many companies that offer this service. Again, if you have a moment, go to the App Store, load the app so you can play with it a little. And last but not least is a so-called fingerprint. This is something that we have put in place a few years ago. It's a health signal. So when the machine is built, we take a bunch of health information from the machine: spindle speed, spindle temperature, vibration, overall a signature of the machine, and this can be tracked along the life cycle of the machine, and we can help the customer identify problems before they happen. something that is unique for us as well. We are very proud, and we have this in the market actually for a few years already, and it has been a very good investment for us as well as the end customer. That's it. Thank you very much for listening in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Take advantage of the salespeople behind you for any questions you may have. You can also walk up here and talk to me if you like. But again, thank you very much. Help yourself maybe with some breakfast before you leave, and enjoy IMTS this week. Thank you.